Good evening and thank you for tuning in to the Post-Apocalyptic News Radio, your only source for latest goings on in the little corner of the post-apocalyptic wasteland we call home. Our top story tonight, a construction accident where a deadly device destroys a dozen lives. More on that later. Let's move on to tomorrow's weather report. We can expect clouds to move in tomorrow, lowering temperatures to a max of 22 degrees Celsius to a low of 21. Wind speed slowing down slightly to 8 km per hour, keeping relative humidity low at 5%. Enjoy the weather while it's here. It won't be here long. Now on to more pressing matters. The world outside has changed. The environment has grown cruel and harsh. Water and food have become prized commodities, and all the creatures we once knew have had to adapt. Some are kind, some strange, many monstrous. Let's discuss our new wasteland fauna. In the world that was, there were many pests. In the world that is, there are still a great many pests. One among them is the gorged fly, a disgusting, crawling, winged thing with eyes a sanguine red that are segmented into thousands of panels. From rump to head, they stand half a meter tall, and their wretched buzzing wings carry them to a height of at least 20 meters. While not a third thing, there are sharp black hairs along the body. They have no regular pattern to them, seemingly randomly grown. And the most foul thing about them is their appetite. Such gluttonous, ravenous carnivores, they would eat until their body bursts. Their mode of eating is via a proboscis, a long, slender tube that pierces the body of their prey. Once inserted, they inject an egregious volume of acid that will either dissolve the flesh or burst it. In either case, the proboscis is then broken off to reveal a small mouth that slurps the remains of the victim's liquid flesh. These are among the most contemptible beasts our wasteland has to offer, and I pray they are destroyed with such efficiency that I hear of them nevermore. I apologize, but I need a moment after that. We're going to commercial. I'll be back in a moment. In the world that was, we had a veritable font of cheese and cheese-like products. Now we are left with so little, but we're inclined to fix this. Left Foot Dairy and Dairy Adjacent are in the business of bringing the lost art of cheese back, but we are understaffed and need you. If you're interested, please come to our factory in Rick's Marsh for more information. You could be the one who brings cheese back to the wasteland. Dale Bell has a printing press for rent in Darth. 20 cubes or 15 spicked a word. And we're back with more of the latest. Friends, families, and loved ones have all been separated by the vast wasteland. Our mailing services are unreliable, facing the dangers of the waste alone. They risk their lives that we are not forgotten or estranged. By popular harassment, we're closing that distance. Stay tuned for Letters from Home. This letter includes no name for who sent it. It is addressed to PANR, to read for one Tef. The letter reads, "We know where you are, we'll be silent." And that's the letter. We'll be right back after these short messages. I thought we talked about vetting these. What's that? Theophania? Get her to my office as swiftly as you're able. Are you in need of milk? Come to Jeffrey Dairy & Co.'s milk bag in Mill. Every bag guaranteed to have 1 liter or less of milk. Good evening. I apologize for my outburst, and for the letter just read. We will not allow it to happen again. Let's change the subject, shall we? Let's talk survival. More accurately, let's talk survival cooking. More specifically, let's talk quality survival culinary. Most of us haven't had a decent meal since the world ended, living off the scraps of the world past or risking contaminated meat hunted from our new furry friends. Often bland or bitter, these meals leave us wanting. However, thanks to a kind soul traveling the wastes, I know a few things you can do to better your meals. In the world that was, milk was abundant, nutritious, cold, and delightful. Today, not one of us has had a drop. For this, many of us are lacking calcium. But thanks to the Fathom, we have an answer. Far below the waves lies a deposit of pure calcium. It's covered by a layer of silt, protecting those who enter from the reactive consequences of this commodity. But thanks to the gill worm, we are able to coat it in oil and bring it to the surface. With the help of Jeffrey Dairy & Co., we are able to process this into safe, edible foods and drinks. Find your calcium and save your muscles and bones. Moving on. It's no secret that this world is a dangerous place. People have grown desperate and taken to helping themselves to your stuff when you're least prepared. Stay ready, stay informed with the latest reported bandit movements. The door choppers have continued their rampage, leaving no injuries, no deaths, and no stolen goods in their wake. Their puzzling actions are concerning, but are not dangerous. Soon they will be the MCR's issue, and not ours. I encourage those who have had their property damaged to rebuild as soon as possible. Meanwhile, the Skiv have been surrounded by the FDN at Gerald's Atoll. It is likely a brutal battle is about to begin between them, but only if the Skiv have no means of escaping. The FDN has placed 3 ships to engage the group. The College Fund, the Pond, and Rat 7 are prepared to capture or eliminate the Skiv before they leave the atoll. But with that, we are on to our top story tonight, where mishandling of equipment, poor decision-making, and poor luck left 12 dead on the bones. As we discussed yesterday, construction on Glass Shore continued despite warnings of danger from the Fathom. The beach is the boneyard of the deep serpents, whose razor-sharp bones cause deep wounds that never heal. The foremen ignored these warnings and built. With big machines they made ground, digging deep into the boneyard and preparing foundation. Unfortunately, the bones were unstable after digging, leaving the machines, crew, and even the foreman to a terrible fate. Services for the deceased will be held this coming Thursday. One Frank Korn said, quote, "Management ought to have listened to the Fathom. Now management's dead." Powerful words indeed. But with that, I'm afraid we're out of time. I should like to thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you the very best. And if you're truly out there, good luck.